Very good afternoon to all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. Hello, everyone. All right, I need some response from you guys so that I know that I am visible and audible. Good noon, Priya. All right, then that gives me a hint that I am visible and audible. Okay, so I welcome you to this session, Grammar for Cat and omits. Right, so today we'll talk about how grammar is important for cat. Is it important for cat? Right, we'll talk about how it is important for omits, something that you know already, but we'll emphasize this through some questions. Right, so the agenda for today is very clear. We're going to understand the importance of grammar for cat and omits. We're going to look at some important areas that you need to learn for becoming good at grammar and what all grammar concepts are tested, how they are tested, in what all question formats they are tested. That's also something that we are going to see through questions. Right? Hello Arpit. Hi Gaurav. Hi Hetvi. Hello Rajneesh. Good noon all of you. We're just joining. So Arpit, this is more of IFT and ZAT combined, right? So what I've done is I've shown you questions from other management entrance tests. And those other management entrance tests, I have focused specifically on IFT and ZAT, right? As these exams are near. Okay, I also tell you a bit about CAT, right? How grammar was asked in CAT till 2014. So we discuss all of those things as well, right? Good noon, Siddharth. So any session on vocabulary, any session on grammar helps you in all those tests in which vocabulary is asked or grammar is asked. Okay, so don't worry about a vocabulary or a grammar session being a certain test specific, right? Any kind of a grammar question can be asked in any OMET, right? So, if okay, first of all, instead of my telling you this, importance of grammar for cat is something that all of you know. Yes, some of you have taken cat, some of you are going to appear for it next year. So, you know that although direct grammar questions are not asked, yet we have questions such as parajumbles, para summaries. So, in order to comprehend a paragraph, also, you need to be good at grammar. If, let's say, your grammatical concepts are not clear, it will pose a problem in the comprehension of paragraphs, in the comprehension of RC passages, in the comprehension of parajumbles also. In fact, when you make links between two sentences in a parajumble, those links are sometimes based on grammar only. Yes? Adverbs such as however, but, as a result, right? So these are called conjunctive adverbs. And you make connections between them in order to see, okay, do these two sentences make sense together? So grammar is relevant beyond, let's say, direct grammar questions. It will help you in understanding paragraphs, which will help you in VA. It will help you in understanding passages, which will help you for your RCs. And definitely it will help you in making connections in parajumbles. Right? Good noon. Hi Amrit. Amrit, we are going to practice grammar questions, so that will help you for your OMETs also. Okay, so it's not 2023 specific as such. Good noon, Varun. Yes, it is definitely helpful for the coming IFT exam, the one that is happening on the 18th. It is also helpful for the SNAP exam. It is also going to help you for the ZAT exam. Right? So do not worry about this. Okay, look at a sentence identification question right here. Okay, you have to tell me which sentence here is incorrect. Okay, let me just correct a typo. Just one small correction from my end. Yes, there is a full stop here. Don't think that there is a punctuation error. So these are your sentences. You have to tell me which of them are incorrect. Okay. Now, this is the kind of question that can be asked from you. In fact, such questions were asked from you in IFT. Such questions have been asked from you in ZAT also. So you need not worry. Look at it. Yes, Jaisuman, absolutely. All right. I've got 2 A's so far. What else? C. Okay, 1 C. All right. More responses. Come on. Okay. All right. A versus C in the chat box currently. What else? Arpit, what do you say? Rajneesh, Priya, Hetvi, Gaurav. Need your responses too. Okay, Gaurav has responded. Divya says A. All right, so quite a few A's I have got, and I've also got a fair number of C's. Last Sunday, Archana had nothing to do. You had to identify the incorrect sentence. I do not see anything incorrect here. Okay, still I'll read all the sentences just to be sure. After waking up, she lay on the bed thinking of what to do. Okay, she lay on the bed thinking of what to do. This seems a little iffy to me, so I've underlined this. So that's why I'm keeping B in my mind that maybe this is incorrect. All right. At 11 o'clock, she took shower and got ready. At 11 o'clock, there needed to be a comma first of all. At 11 o'clock, something happened. This entire thing happened at 11 o'clock. And usually we say she took a shower. She took a shower and got ready. Right? So C is definitely erroneous. There were glaring errors in C, if you ask me, right? As a student, I saw glaring errors in C. So I knew that, okay, option C is out of the window. Yes. Then D says she spent most of the day shopping. Even this seems correct to me, right? She spent most of the day doing what? Doing shopping. So doing is of course not added because shopping itself is an activity. So A and D are correct. Once I realize this, right, it comes down to these two. B and C is more appropriate because I find something iffy with B also. So can you tell me what is wrong with B? You are right, right? Option A is the answer. After waking up, she lay on the bed thinking of what to do. So this could have happened in the past. That is not the problem. So to lie on the bed is a verb, right? To lie somewhere, okay, it's a verb. The past tense is lay. So there is no problem with lay as such here. What's the problem then? Is it laid? Lay, laid, laid. This is a different verb, laid. Lie, lay, lain. This is a different verb. Okay. So this is the verb lay. This is the verb lie. Okay. Now, what is the difference between these two verbs? Let's understand that. Lie, it means you yourself lie down somewhere, right? You lie down on the sofa, you lie down somewhere, right? So in a way, if you have to, आप अपने आप कहीं बैठ रहे हो, अपने आप कहीं लेट रहे हो. That's the idea, right? When we say lie. So to lie somewhere. She's lying on the bed. Yes. Now, lay is the past tense of lie. Lay is the past tense, past simple. And here we are talking in the past tense. So lay is absolutely correct here. No problem. Lain is the past participle. Had lain. Right? Had lain. Past participle. Third form of the verb. Okay. She got the feeling that she had lain in this bed before. Right? So past participle. Lay on the other hand is when you lay something. So I lay some books on the table. So इसका मतलब खुद से बैठना या लेटना नहीं, किसी चीज को रखना है, right? You lay something on the table, right? So she came and she lays these books on my table every day. She lays these documents, these files on my table every day, right? That's why a hen also lays eggs. She's also placing them somewhere in a way, right? That's the idea. So lays the present tense. She laid the files on my table. She had laid the files on my table by the time I arrived. So lay, laid, laid, different verb, different meaning, therefore different forms. The confusion arises because of this lay and this lay, but you have to understand the difference. तो अब ये तो clear हो गया कि lay में कोई problem नहीं है, तो फिर problem कहाँ है? Yes. Tell me. What is the difference between on the bed, in bed versus on the bed? Yes. In bed versus on the bed. In versus on. It's actually this problem. In versus on. So basically, when I use lay, that means she was still in bed. She hadn't woken up. When we talk about someone sleeping, when we talk about someone being under the covers, okay, under the bed covers, then we use the preposition in. So she lay in the bed, even we can remove the, even that will be fine. So in the bed is also fine, in bed is also fine, but on will not come here because she's currently still inside the covers, right? She lay in bed or in the bed thinking of what to do. Preposition error here. Okay, a very interesting question. I found this one to be. This now clarifies your concept of lie versus lay, and you understand that when someone is sleeping, the act of sleeping, the act of being in bed, we call it being in bed and not on the bed. On the bed is you sit on the bed, right? And this is also clear, comma, and she took a shower and got ready. So B and C, option A. Right? So something that will help you for all your exams that ask grammar, not just let's say CAT. This was just to emphasize that, it's not that CAT never asked grammar questions. Till 2014, CAT did ask grammar questions. Okay, so this is from CAT 2004, a very early CAT paper, right? Let's have a look at another question. Okay, let me see if there are any queries in the chat box. Just give me a second. Laid, okay, all right. No, there's no American British here, Sham. No American British difference there. Americans भी in bed ही कहेंगे. Okay. All right. Under the sheets, yes, in the bed. Correct, Gaurav. So option A is D, Delhi. In this current question that's on your screen. Let's see what you say here. Okay, I've got my first response and it's B. Read the instructions carefully. All right. Use the options, use elimination. Okay, let's see what I want more responses. Come on. B, C. All right. Okay. Others, please answer Rohit's query. I've answered it twice or thrice. So basically, we are confused between B and C. Can I say that? But I've got more of C's. That's also there. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So eliminate. Okay, so in all your grammar questions, the point that I try to keep in mind is that I look at all the sentences. So I form my opinion about each sentence, but I begin eliminating from that point, from that sentence about which I'm very sure. That's what I do. So when I read large reductions in the ozone layer, which sits, okay, talks about ozone layer 15 to 30 kilometer above the earth, take place, okay, talks about reductions each winter over the polar regions, especially the Antarctic, as low temperatures allow the formation of stratospheric clouds, and these clouds that assist, it refers to clouds that assist chemical reactions breaking down ozone. So on the face of it, nothing seemed wrong to me in A. Yet, because it's such a long sentence, maybe I missed out on something, I'll still read others and form an opinion then. B. Industrial chemicals containing chlorine and bromine have been blamed for thinning the layer because they attack the ozone molecules, making them to break apart. Making them to break apart. Something seems wrong here. Either I should say causing them to break apart. Causing them to break apart. That makes sense. Or making them break apart. This too seems redundant here. Making them break apart is enough. Making them to break apart becomes wrong. In case I want to, then I should say cause them to do something. So causing them to break apart. So B, I felt strongly that, okay, there is an error there. Let me see the next sentence. Many an offending chemicals. A very glaring error right here. Now see, this is the point when I realize, okay, this is definitely incorrect. So A and C cannot be the answer, right? I am anyway doubtful about B having an error. Okay, so if I have to identify the correct one, of course, B will not be in my list, at least in my priority list. Let's see D. It will take several decades before these substances have disappeared from the atmosphere. Now the thing is, I don't really need to worry about D because it's present in both the options. I just need to be sure whether A is correct or not. And since I did not find any error in A, okay, let's say you read it once, now you read it again, you don't find any error in it, you found your answer. A and D are the correct sentences here. Okay, now what was the error in C? What kind of an error is it? Right? All right. Many an offending chemical. Absolutely correct, Amrit. Right? So, many an offending chemical. Okay. Why this? Because we have two types of phrases. Many, let's say many girls, and I can also write the same thing as many a girl. Okay, as far as the meaning is concerned, there is no difference. When I say many girls are educated today or many a girl is educated today, the meaning is the same. However, because the moment I say many a girl, there is a and there's a girl. So basically it becomes a singular countable noun. We have an article, a singular article here. So many a girl is educated. I cannot say are educated. I cannot say are educated then. So there are implications for grammar. Meaning wise, both mean the same. Many girls are educated versus many a girl is educated. So many an offending chemical and not chemicals will be used. And then I'll say has now been banned. Okay, has now been banned. This will be the correction. Now, some of you must be wondering why then write like this. This is a more literary way, a more beautiful ornamental way of saying the same thing. Many girls versus many a girl, many chemicals versus many a chemical. Right? Hope this makes sense. And C is definitely the erroneous one. This concept is something that you cover in subject-verb agreement. So keep taking a note of the areas that we are covering, the grammar areas that your questions are covering. The previous one covered prepositions, isn't it? We talked about prepositions and articles here. We also talked about punctuation here. Here we talk about subject-verb agreement, right? So the answer I hope is clear to you. It's C. And we did this through elimination. That's how you should attempt in the exam also. No, bache. Amrit, many a times is also incorrect. It should be many a time. but many a times has seeped so much into our language that a lot of people think that it is correct, but it is not correct. Okay, it should be many a time versus many times. There are many such phrases, that have seeped into our usage so much that we think that they're correct. For instance, according to me, Zat again asked a question on this. When we say according to me, that is incorrect. Because we say according to when we are quoting or citing someone else. Okay, quoting someone, citing someone. You can't cite yourself at that very place, right? So, according to me is incorrect. In case you want to give your viewpoint, you should say in my view or in my opinion. Okay, so another one for you, it's something that was asked in ZAT. So, what is the importance of grammar for roommates? I think again, you already know grammar-based questions are asked in all the major non-CAT exams. Of course, I have not listed some of them here. That does not mean that grammar-based questions are not asked in them. The immediate ones for us, right, are of course these. MyCat 1 has already happened. MyCat 2 is yet to happen. NMAT has been going on, right? So it had a long window. So it's important for all these exams, and that's why we are doing questions on it. Now, one thing that students think is not important is punctuation. But let me tell you that in IFT last year, punctuation questions have been were specifically asked, right? In ZAT also, punctuation questions have been asked in the previous years. In SNAP as well, you can be asked punctuation questions. So it's important. This is also an important area. So look at this, a previous year IFT question, and tell me what the answer should be here. TISNET also has grammar questions, absolutely. Last year it was 232, Gaurav, right? So this year we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and watch. Can't comment. Okay. Okay, all right. So I've got some C's, I've also got one B. Last year also only one was counted. Only one was counted last year as well. All right, so let's have a look what the answer should be. I've got some B's, some C's. So there's a competition there between B and C. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. See, can I join? Tell me something. Can you join two sentences using just a comma? Is that possible? Does comma have that kind of power? It does not. You can't join two complete ideas. In fact, I call this complete ideas colloquially to give you the formal term. We cannot join two independent clauses using just a comma. Okay, so independent clauses, a group of words containing a subject and a verb that makes complete sense. That is called an independent clause. Now here, don't guess. A complete idea, don't guess. I keep telling you this for the exams also. No, don't just make wild guesses. Don't guess. Okay, make calculated guesses. It's not like you don't have to guess at all. Use a timer or watch. This is also a complete idea. So these are two instructions that are two independent clauses. I cannot join them using just a comma. Okay. So this is eliminated. A is correct, definitely correct. So C cannot be the answer. Now I have to check C and D. The driver managed to escape from the vehicle before it sank and swam. It looks like the vehicle sank and swam. So this is erroneous. D is correct. The usage of comma is required here because this tells me that okay, it's the vehicle sank, but the driver swam. The driver managed to escape from the vehicle before it sank and swam to the river bank. Who? The driver. Right? So it's B and D that are, sorry, incorrect mark करना है ना हमें, तो A and D are correct, B and C that are incorrect. B and C that are incorrect. A is the answer. Yes. A is the answer. किसी ने mark नहीं किया A? Oh God. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. But then, yes, please keep this in mind. You cannot join two independent clauses using a comma. This was not a difficult question. It was on the easier side. Okay, so my recommendation to you is Renan Martin has a very basic chapter on punctuation. It is not lengthy at all. Just go through that chapter once and it will clarify these things to you. Right? Now, some of you must be wondering, what if I want to join two independent clauses using a comma only, not using a semicolon? See, there are three ways. Either you write them as two separate sentences using a full stop, right? The second way is that you join them using a semicolon. So this, instead of a comma, a semicolon would be correct here. Don't guess, semicolon, use a timer or watch. Okay, so this is fine. Or another option is don't guess, comma, then you pick up a coordinating conjunction. Fanboys. These are called your coordinating conjunctions. They join ideas of equal importance. Okay. Or yet so. Okay. So here you can join it using a coordinating conjunction. Don't guess and let's say I think it's and only. Don't guess, but use a timer or watch. Instead, use a timer or watch makes more sense in my opinion. Okay. Don't guess and use a timer. That also makes sense. That okay, I'm talking about the same thing, about the two things in the same breath. एक तो guess मत करना और timer और watch use कर लेना, right? If I want to say that. So in that case, you can use and. Okay. In case you want to indicate that these two ideas are completely contradictory, right, then you can use a but, although rather, instead, they appear more appropriate to me, right? So comma plus a coordinating conjunction, these you can use. So that tells me that my answers are B and C. They are the ones that are incorrect. Okay, B and C are incorrect. So the answer should be A. All right. Any query so far? Let me just check. All right. Yes, in addition is also fine, Gaurav. In that case, you will put a full stop after don't guess. Then you will say in addition, comma, and then you will begin your story. Right. Let's have a look at this. See, preposition questions asked in every other exam separately. So let's see what IFT asked in one of the previous years. Yes. No aspirant as such. I don't remember right now. Okay. D, all right. B. Only C is left now. Okay. Chalo, that's good that nobody said C. What about others though? It's just a 20-second question. Okay. Antipathy. What is the meaning of this word? Anti, against. Pathos, feelings. Right? Pathos means suffering, feelings, treatment. The word has multiple meanings, but all related to feelings. Suffering is also a feeling, treatment of some suffering. Okay, that way. So, anti already has against in it. Pathy here refers to a feeling. So, a feeling of dislike, a feeling of hatred is called antipathy. Apathy is indifference. Here is a negative prefix. Means not. So no feelings. When you are indifferent towards something, you have apathy towards it. You are apathetic towards it. That's what we say. So you have a dislike towards something, right? You have a like also towards something. You like something, so basically you have a liking towards it. Similarly, if you dislike something, you have a dislike towards that thing, right? To that thing. I'll not say against. The anti already has against. If you dislike meat, you will say I have an antipathy to meat. I have a great antipathy to meat. So B is going to be the answer. On meat, on is the preposition of surface. Meat के ऊपर antipathy का क्या मतलब है? Right? Meat के ऊपर dislike. Over again does not make sense. These two don't make sense at all. Between against and to, you should choose to here. Against does not make sense. Okay. So if you have a dislike towards something, to is the preposition that you use. Okay. Bias can be used towards also. See, bias is a word where you can use bias towards something, and you can also say bias against something, depending on whether you are biased to that thing or biased against that thing, right? But antipathy, when we say, and we are talking about what you dislike, then you should use to only. So a preposition question right here. As I said, keep noting down the areas that we are covering. I'll ask you towards the end what all areas you need to prepare for, right? So let's have a look at this, quite a long instruction. Now, if you see, so again, this is a previous year question. And if you see, they have questioned you on specific parts of speech. Okay. And when you read this question, you'll realize some element of vocabulary is also involved here. Right. So let's have a look. It's not a difficult question at all. Let's see what you say. Okay. So, Ankita, I would suggest that you see some sessions that specifically talk about these colleges. Why? Because see the rankings of various colleges. So there are something called NIRF rankings. There are B school rankings which are published by a lot of independent agencies. They keep changing every year, depending on the placements of the college, depending on the current faculty, the current infrastructure, the student-teacher ratio. All these factors are taken into account, right? So I don't know what is the current status of these colleges, and therefore I would refrain from commenting. So just watch some sessions, see what their placements are like, compare them, look at the faculty members, the faculty composition, the student teacher ratio, and then you can decide how a particular college is, right? The location also matters, because when the companies come for placements, they also see, okay, whether this college is in the interiors or not. Companies don't usually prefer to go into the interiors. So look at all these factors and then you can make an opinion, right? Any predictions? So I don't really make any predictions as such. Of course, I'm expecting that 15 questions in general English with, I am expecting again that there will be no RCs, right? So I have this strong expectation in that regard. Apart from that, the level I can't comment on, but yes, from easy, it will not go to difficult, right? It will at the most be easy to moderate, or in an extreme scenario, moderate, but it will not go difficult. So I think these are some reasonable expectations that we can have based on the data that we have, right? A, C, all right. It's A versus C in the chat box currently. I've got just one D. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Little hope of success. I think we've covered this grammar concept a number of times now. Okay. When I say a few versus just few, right? A few versus few. A little versus little. We have covered this concept. So when I say a little, it means that, okay, it's not a lot of amount, right? It's not a lot, but then it is sufficient for my purposes. So it's a positive expression. Whereas when I say little, it's a negative expression. So little absolutely means very negligible hope or no hope. When I say a little, some hope at least. So these two appear correct to me. Now let's have a look at 3 and 4. A neighbor to one, yes, somebody who is my neighbor lives, let's say, next to me, lives in front of my house. A neighbor to one, living near one. And neighbor to one, kind to one. Okay, so why do you think that nobody has marked D, Delhi here. Why do you think fourth can't be the answer? Yes, fourth is not correct because nobody said D. So, neighbor also means this, being kind to someone who needs your help. Open the Oxford Dictionary and look at the definitions of neighbor. Neighbor, see, you must have heard this word neighborly conduct, neighborly act. This was not a very neighborly gesture on your part. So, neighborly means kind. Okay. So, neighbor to one means kind to one, and that's why all these four are correct. All 1, 2, 3, and 4 are correct. Right? So, D, Delhi is the answer here. Okay, so this is actually used in religious context actually, Amrit. So for instance, when I say love thy neighbor as you love thyself, I think this is from the Bible only. So when we say love thy neighbor, we are not literally talking about somebody just living next to you, basically your fellow human beings. So neighbor in that sense is used as anybody who needs your kindness. Okay, act in a neighborly manner towards them. Okay, so she's not been a good neighbor. If I say that, that can mean that, okay, she is actually a neighbor, and then she has not been good. It can actually also mean that she's just a fellow human being who has not been kind. Then also I can say that she's not been a good neighbor. Her actions are not neighborly actions, right? So that is why all 1, 2, 3, and 4 are correct here. D, Delhi is the answer. Okay. Okay. Now, so you see that, in-depth questions have been asked. I'm specifically, see, the examiner is specifically making it clear to you that he or she wants you to focus on helping verbs, wants you to focus on articles, right? Whereas no article here. Then a neighbor, again, no article here, right? Then helping verb, there was no helping verb here as such, right? But article usage was something that you were tested on. Similarly, look at this question. Again, the examiner makes it very clear that he or she is testing you on nouns and specifically collective nouns. So you need to have your parts of speech very clear. Okay, let's have a look at this one. You have to identify the correct sentence. That means 3 of them are incorrect. I've got A, all right. What else? D Delhi, okay. B Bangalore. All right, all right. So, okay. Two D's, two B's, two C's. Okay, I've got one more D here. So this is testing, and all of this is there in Wren and Martin. It's not like any exam is going beyond Wren and Martin, okay, or is testing something that's very complicated. So even if, let's say, you feel that they have gone beyond Wren and Martin, they are testing some very commonly spoken ideas. For instance, according to me. Now, usually you would not find it in a grammar book, but according to me, in my opinion, it's more of a vocabulary thing that for yourself you can't say according to. So this is something that is right there in the very initial chapter, which is nouns in Wren and Martin. Now, mouses is incorrect. I think everybody realized this. The plural of mouse is mice. There is a colony. There is a colony of mice in my house. He gave me. Now this is also incorrect. This has a subject verb agreement error also, right? In fact, it has a noun का singular plural का error. यहाँ पर ये noun plural होना चाहिए, isn't it? We should say notes. If there were 10 notes, then I should say notes here. Moreover, how should I write it? So many concepts stuffed into just one question. He gave me 10. Okay, so 10 notes. Now I am also telling you what was the denomination of those notes, right? So they were 5 rupee notes. So how will I write it? 5 hyphen rupee. 5 hyphen rupee. It will not be plural because this is an adjective here, a compound adjective. Okay, 5 rupee notes. Why am I placing this hyphen here? See, as an adjective will not make it plural. That's one thing. Okay, whenever the adjective comes before the noun, okay, we do not make it plural like this. Why the hyphen? Because if you do not place the hyphen, it gives the impression as if 5 is also modifying notes. But 5 is not describing notes, 5 is describing rupee. So to clarify this, we put a hyphen between them. He gave me 10, no hyphen here, he gave me 10 5 rupee notes. So multiple errors. Okay, eliminated. Offsprings. Okay, offspring, the plural is offspring only. Offspring refers to someone's child. It can refer to one child also. It can also refer to all the children of a human being also, right? So offspring, the plural is offspring itself. That's why this is also erroneous. These 5 children are her offspring. That should be the construction. There are no gentry in this town is correct. Okay, again given in the book itself, police, cattle, gentry, poultry, vermin. Vermin are these small insects. Okay, so they are always plural. The police are investigating the case. The cattle are grazing the field. There are no gentry in this town. What does gentry mean? Usually the upper class or the ruling class people, they are called the gentry. Okay, so there are no gentry in this town, no ruling class in this town. Poultry, all of us understand, right? Vermin, those small little insects. So D correct hai yahan par, baki sab incorrect. Okay, and it tested your knowledge of collective nouns, of singular plural of nouns in depth, right? Offsprings, see, it can be used, right? In recent usage we do accept offsprings, but if you look at the standard usage, we say they are her offspring. If let's say I am talking about perhaps different species, then I could use offsprings. So offsprings is a very recent usage. Okay, you should prefer offspring only in every case, right? Okay, so I double checked it with some dictionaries before actually coming up with, before bringing this question to you. recent usages, they do accept offsprings, but the traditional usage, the standard usage, if you look up the Oxford Dictionary, it says that the plural is offspring itself, right? It refers to whatever has sprung out from a human being. That's the idea, okay? The product of his or her efforts, let's say, right? So fill in the blank question. Now this is a mixed question. It's testing a number of areas. That's why I wrote mixed here, just to tell you what type it is. Let's have a look. It's a closed test of sorts, but based on grammar this time. Let's see what you say. Mixed fill in the blanks. So, grammar questions do require your attention, your practice. Okay. This is not difficult. No answers yet. Okay, B, D. All right, D. B, Bangalore. Again, okay. A. Okay. Others. B. Okay. So clinical practitioners is plural, right? But then that does not help me much because my options also say have, were, and could. Okay. Clinical practitioners dash integrated mindfulness. So integrated is the main verb here. I need a helping verb. They were integrated does not make sense. They could integrated also does not make sense. So C and E should be eliminated. Let me see in the chat box if anybody said C and E. Just a couple of you, right? So C and E can be eliminated easily. Let's have a look at the answer here. So clinical practitioners have integrated mindfulness in the treatment. Okay, so in the treatment, not for treatment of. See, the treatment, the is required here because we are talking about a specific treatment, that of dash, right? So eliminated. In the treatment of the host of emotional and behavioral disorders. No, a host of, a variety of. That's what I'm trying to say. In the treatment of a variety of. So on the basis of articles, on the basis of verbs, you could have just attempted this question. Okay, you need not even know what comes in the fourth and the fifth blank. But let's see. This will be such as, and not like. Okay, we'll see the difference between such as and like. A good and important difference. The number, subject verb agreement concept. When we say the number, it is singular. When we say a number, it is plural. So the number of such practitioners has increased substantially. A was the answer. Good. Those of you who marked A, Jaisuman, Amrit, Anushka, Tarunanditya, then yeah, just 4 to 5 of you marked A. Let's have a look at the difference between such as and like. See, such as includes the thing that it gives the examples of. Such as is inclusive in nature. So when I say emotional and behavioral disorders, such as borderline personality disorder, major depression, chronic pain, I am including these in emotional and behavioral disorders. Like just means similar to. Like just means similar to. It need not really include them. Right? It is simply used for comparisons. So if I say I like desserts such as brownies, that means I like brownies also. I am including brownies in desserts. But when I say I like desserts like brownies, that means जो भी brownies के जैसे desserts होते हैं ना, वो पसंद है मुझे. राइट, उसके सिमिलर जो डिजर्ट्स होते हैं वो पसंद है. सो such as on the other hand says including brownie I like desserts, right? So this is used to give examples of which are inclusive examples, right? This is just used to show similarity to something. That's the difference between such as and like. Apart from, again, another difference is that such as is of course more formal also as compared to like. Okay, so I hope this is clear. The number is singular. So Tarun Aditya, is this Tarun Aditya? है ना? Yeah, Tarun Aditya. Is it clear now? Also, the number is singular because when I say the number, I'm referring to a specific number. So let's say earlier the number was 2000, one specific number this is. Now the number is 3000. So that's why I'm referring to one specific number and that's why it will be singular. When I say a number of people are standing outside. So we never say no, a number of people is standing outside, are standing. Because a number means, okay, it is greater than 2. I don't know the exact number, but it is definitely greater than 2. This is not specific, not exact. Okay, perfect then. So A is the answer here. Now see, this one question tested your knowledge of verbs, prepositions, articles, such as versus like. Like is a preposition again, right? So it's a relatively advanced concept also, and of course towards the end verbs. So you yourself can realize the importance of grammar, right? And the areas that you need to prepare for. So the importance of grammar for cat and nomads you've just seen. Just want to establish that grammar is important for a broader picture also. It will help you in writing your WATs, in writing your essays in the stage 2. Then it will help you in your personal interviews. It will help you at your workplace to become a better communicator, to become a more effective communicator, and in life also, right? Whenever you are communicating with anybody, even at a personal level. Okay, so important areas in grammar, I think, are now clear to us. Parts of speech, what else? Parts of speech, I think everybody saw. What else do I need to prepare for? Can anyone tell me quickly? I need to prepare for subject-verb agreement also. You just saw that. In parts of speech also, I need to be very thorough. Okay, so it's not that I should just know what a noun is. What are the types of nouns? Collective nouns. What is their usage? Right? What are helping verbs? What are main verbs? Tenses, which is a property of a verb. Voice, which is a property of a verb. Okay, articles also I'm including here only. Articles are types of adjectives as per traditional grammarians, right? So articles also included here. Then apart from this, preposition specific questions can be asked. So there also you need to be very thorough. Now, although we did not do questions on these today, but modifiers and parallelism, this is also a topic that you can be asked. The last question that we did yesterday was based on parallelism, right? So this is also one concept that you need to be thorough with. So these are some areas apart from, of course, your punctuation, how to construct correct sentences depends on punctuation as well. So these are 4 areas that all of you should be thorough with. Direct, indirect speech also is asked in some exams. I didn't write it because it's not asked in every other exam out there. But yes, it has been asked in some exams on and off. Okay. Figures of speech is not really a grammar concept, it's a vocabulary concept. Figures of speech, simile, metaphor, etc. Phrases, again, I count it in vocabulary. Phrasal verbs, right? I count it as vocabulary because they have a fixed meaning, right? So these are the areas that you need to prepare for. And your preparation strategy, see, I named a book, Wren and Martin. So one is that you go through this book, by that you will be able to go through it. So in case you're targeting exams, apart from that also, if you're targeting some exams such as, let's say, TISNET, okay, in that case it makes sense to go through this book, right? In case you're targeting 2023, some of you may be targeting 2023, you have to go through this book, okay? It will not take much time if you just do 5 to 10 pages every day. Just 5 pages every day, you'll be able to finish it in 1.5 to 2 months, right? That's all the time that it takes. And solving previous year questions, very important. You learn a lot from them. Okay, you'll learn a lot of concepts from them. Mock tests, sectional tests. Okay, sectional tests and topic tests. So basically through questions. The rest of the preparation happens through questions. So practice a lot of questions on them. At the back of Wren and Martin, at the back of every chapter, there are fill in the blanks based on that chapter. So just go through those fill in the blanks at least, right? This is how you prepare for it. Prepare for grammar. If you get one question wrong, so basically you do not get anything for that question. Okay, तो one अगर correct होता तो +1 मिलता, right? अभी वो +1 नहीं मिलेगा, अभी क्या होगा, माइनस हो जाएगा 0.25 बस. So let's say I attempted 14 questions. I got 13 of them correct. So for these 13, I'll get a +13. For the one that I got incorrect, ओके एक मिनट, मैंने 14 अटेम्प्ट करे ना, 15 टोटल है, आई एम सो सॉरी. सो 14 मैंने अटेम्प्ट करे थे, तो जो 14th मेरा गलत हुआ उसका मेरे को नेगेटिव मिलेगा 0.25. सो मेरे मार्क्स हो गए 12.75. ठीक है, दिस इज हाउ द कैलकुलेशन इज डन. So Kaushal, the key is that you should be first clear with the basics, that okay, a noun is a naming word. So always ask yourself in a sentence, what is it doing? Is it describing something? Is it naming something? Is it referring to something named earlier? So you should be very clear with the function of each part of speech that way, and then question yourself accordingly in a particular sentence. Right? एग्जाम में क्या पहनकर जाना है. सो अपार्ट फ्रॉम द इंस्ट्रक्शंस दैट आर देयर ऑन योर एडमिट कार्ड, यू नीड नॉट वरी. सो फॉर इंस्टेंस कैट स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन्ड, ओके, डोंट वेयर दीज क्लोज्ड बूट्स, राइट? सो इफ certain such instructions are written on the snap admit card, just follow them. If not, you can wear anything that you want to, right? This is our CAT 23 comprehensive program. In case some of your friends are preparing for 23, in case you are preparing for 23, you can consider enrolling now, because you need to work on vocabulary and grammar right from the beginning. Okay. Last lab to IIFT is going on. Yes, at 7 p.m. we meet you every day with highly focused sessions meant for IIFT. And this is our ZAT All India Open Mock. It is live currently. Do take it, right? So instead of register now, attempt it now. Yeah. And lastly, stay connected with us via Telegram. You can stay connected. You can download our app for more such free sessions. Okay, we take a lot of sessions there also. So today in the evening, I have a session on the app. I'll talk to you about some vocabulary words related to RC passages. Okay, something that will help you in CAT RCs. So yes, see you there. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. All right, which college is good? SIIB has a higher ranking, of course, that's there, right? But again, it also depends on your interests. What are you interested in? Are you interested in operations? Are you not? So that also decides. Welcome, aspirant, welcome. TISNET is the same as NMAT. See, TISNET, yes, the difficulty level is that of the easier OMETs, right? TISNET is on the easier side. So, just say NMAT ka VA is not that great of a difficulty level. It's more of a time-based game, right? Similarly, SNAP. So, it is in line with those. It is not in line with, let's say, a ZAT or an IIFT, right? Welcome, Gaurav. Welcome. Welcome, guys. See you in the evening at 5 in case you are coming on the app, yeah? Okay. Bye-bye.